At San Diego Comic-Con, we stopped by the Pinball Lounge hosted by Stern Pinball. We love these guys, and they create some really amazing pinball machines. Like in the past, they've done a really awesome Jaws version. This time we got a chance to sit down and talk to them about their two newest release of the new John Wick pinball, as well as the rebranding of Godzilla with a black and white and foil edition.
So the game plays fast.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. This game came out a few years ago. It's considered one of the best games made in like the last decade. Some people would say one of the best games made in pinball and possibly over the full spectrum of gaming. There's a lot of flow in this game. It's very accessible to entry-level recreational players and pros. There's a lot of rules and several multi-balls. You play as Godzilla to destroy the cities and fight the kaijus and go through the game. So this is a black and white version, much like the original film.
Yes.
There's a color machine on the far side of the room that you can check out. This has been stripped of its color, back glass, artwork, side art, got foil, high resolution,
Would
shiny
you say
stuff.
that this one is harder to play because of everything being chrome? Would you say
No.
it's a higher difficulty?
No, I don't think so.
And is this the same as the colored version,
So
the stripped?
So this version comes in a premium only.
Uh-huh.
Normally there's free, there's a pro and a premium and an LE.
Uh-huh.
LEs are what we do at launch and they sell out and stop making them. So this is a premium version. It has a collapsing building. It has a breaking bridge, and it has that Mecha Godzilla toy middle right, which catches pinballs.
I mean, that's what sells it right there.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on.
Is it the same storyline, even though some pieces are not in other versions?
So how Stern does it is we are constantly updating code. So you connect it, you don't have to, but you connect it to the internet. It auto updates. It has Insider Connected, which is commercially available. You go on Google or Apple and you get yourself a QR code and you scan in. This takes, here I'll show you right now. This keeps track of your achievements and scores. So you have, that's my username, and there's levels to this game. It keeps track of your highest score, achievements, levels of where you are in this game, and you could go in anywhere in the world and play this Godzilla and scan in and it'll bring you right back to where you were.
So is this something that people, if they can't afford having their own machine, there are other places they can go and play this?
Totally. So it adds a depth to the game. You're not just playing one game. You're trying to beat the monsters, and whether that takes you one game or several games, there's a lot of different things to do within the Godzilla pinball, or for that matter, like any of the games.
And if I went to an arcade and this is here, I can obviously play against other scores that I see. If I have the machine, am I also able to play against other scores? Friends or family, or?
So home leaderboard is something that people ask us for. You can follow your friends with usernames and see what highest scores are. You can make your details shareable or not. It's up to you. But on location, it definitely helps. It kind of creates a scene, right? There's a leaderboard now.
Exactly, yeah.
People fight to get on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Oh, a week goes by, you get knocked off. Well, now you're playing another game. You're trying to get back on it, and it's fun, right? There's so much stuff to do in these games that you could play for hours, days, weeks, months.
So that that is also such a high purchase incentive to be able to know that you're buying this and you have so many things available to you. You mentioned this can also connect to the internet. Is there ever any updates later on, like that be uploaded to here that control the game in a different way?
Correct. So our game team is constantly finding out, what's working, what's not working.
Yeah.
And here, you want to play multi-ball? I'll answer your question after you're done.
Okay.
So here, your building is Godzilla's now busted the building, and these 3 balls are about to dump into the plate.
Oh wow! I apologize in advance. Who knows what's
You're gonna have a good time.
All right. Yeah. I'm like highly focused right now. Oh yeah. I don't know how people do this. Oh my gosh.
It's tough.
Yeah. Okay. How many multi-balls is the highest that would be played? Is it 3?
So there's, excuse me while I try to refresh my memory. I believe there's 6 different multi-balls. There's a saucer multi-ball, tank multi-ball, bridge multi-ball, Godzilla,
Yeah.
Godzilla, King of the Monsters. I think that's 6.
Wow.
There might be 7, pretty sure there's 6.
So really, in a basic way, when you purchase one of your machines, you're kind of purchasing a theme, and you get a whole bunch of different opponents, a whole bunch of different stories and things that you can do. You're getting so many under one theme of Godzilla or John Wick.
We call it the world under glass, right? You're Godzilla, you're battling monsters, going city to city,
Yeah.
playing with your friends, getting on the leaderboard. So here you're getting into one of the battles.
Oh, I didn't die?
Yep, so you're in the scoop right now.
All right.
There's
I love this. This classic footage is incredible. Okay, use flippers. Sure. Jet fighters, let's go.
So now you can pick what monster you're gonna battle, and each monster has its own set of shots that you want to get.
Let's start on easy.
Yep. So on this one, you want to hit the spinners.
The spinners, okay.
Spinner.
All right.
When you spin them enough, then you get them. Godzilla wins.
With your games, obviously a lot of them have to share similar mechanisms. They all have flappers. I've seen this trail, this road. That's another thing.
Yep.
There's bumpers.
Yep.
Is there something specific that this Godzilla one, besides a custom, figure? There might be other figures. Is there something that this one has that maybe most others don't have that make this also unique in that way?
I mean, each playfield is designed and it's refined over, 2.5, 3 years go into making these games.
Yeah.
And the game designer, in this case, Keith Elwin, is constantly figuring out, how to make this game fun. And each game is different.
Yes.
You have your upper flipper here on the left.
Shoot, that's true.
That hits that orbit. So again, lots of flow on this game.
So true.
And people really they just get in the zone, right?
Yeah.
They're like one with the ball, right? And you kind of lose yourself in the game.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's Godzilla or John Wick or Jaws or any of the many other brands and titles, you are immersed in this world.
Yeah.
Right? And games suck you in, but that kinetic, tactile feedback that you get through pinball is unmatched. You don't get it from anything else except this little slice of gaming that's called pinball. And it's intense.
Yeah.
And there are guys that really dedicate a lot of time and resources
Yeah.
to playing and mastering. And even so, kids could play this one. You know, you
Just need to be this tall to play, right?
need to be that tall to play, or you could.
That little stool.
My parents used to pull up the chair, and I'd be flipping around with my sister, and that's how it went. So this is our, dedication to what now is a 70-year-old black and white
So crazy.
monster movie. That is a beautiful looking game.
Is this the oldest throwback to a brand pinball game that you have, or is there I know Jaws is newer,
Jaws is newer.
70 years is quite a long time.
70 years is that's a classic.
Yeah.
Modern Stern, I'm going to say yes.
Wow, awesome.
Godzilla, and it's just such a huge brand.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody earlier, it's like, even if you don't know, a lot of the questions that we get, it's like, is this new? Oh, you still make pinball? And they see it in a window,
Yeah.
and they like Godzilla,
Yeah.
and they come in and go, what is this?
Yeah.
Brand
It's
new
funny
pinball.
because some kids, they have that thing where it's like, do you know what this is? Like an 8-track player, and kids are like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But pinball,
But it's
they
fun,
know what it
it's
is. Yeah.
wild,
Yeah.
right? And it's just a good time
Yeah.
for everybody. So Insider Connected is also that technology that connects all the games and connects all the players together through this deeper expansion of the game. It also allows you to bring up a pinned map of pinball and find out where to play Bond and Deadpool and Jaws and 20 other games,
So you-
35 other games that we have.
You don't have to have the Godzilla one to find other Godzilla. You don't even have to have one to find it. You can just...
You can go on the website. Purchasing a game is one thing.
Yeah.
Sinking $1 or $5 in to play for an hour or two
Yeah.
is something that is, it's inclusive that people could do. Very popular in the barcade scene.
Yes.
Or the brewery scene. But there are machines out there that you can find at Stern Pinball.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to playing the next one.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
So pinballs, I love that this is something that is like vinyl records. Like people can just enjoy it over and over again. It seems like it becomes refreshed, and so does the technology and how we hear it and how we see it. And especially with movies that are so crazy exciting like John Wick. So tell us a little bit about the things that were chosen specifically for this pinball machine with the technology that you have.
Sure. So we have modern technology that goes into all these machines. We have been keeping pinball alive and thriving for more than 30 years at Stern Pinball. And so this is, the most modern pinball machine there has ever been is this, our newest John Wick.
Yeah.
And so there's modern material science that goes into making these machines. Everything on the playfield is made with modern technology. We have modern electronics underneath, RGB lights. We have essentially a laptop screen in the back of these, and we're running movie and video game content right in the back of this as you play through the game experience.
Yeah.
And then to top that all off, we have Insider Connected, which keeps track of your scores, allows you to connect with the community, and with this John Wick game gives you limited time missions for you to complete, just like the Hitman in the movies.
Yeah.
You got to complete it before somebody else does, and we have those that have launched with John Wick.
Do I become an official hitman if I beat this game?
You do.
Yeah. So we were talking about technology, but one thing about technology is it can feel very cold, separated. And I love how there's so many tactile, moving elements in here. How do you find the right balance of those two things?
For us, the center of the pinball experience is always the playfield and the wild action that happens kind of in the center of the game. And that's where we put the resources. Everything else in the experience is just wrapped around it to make it more immersive and feel more fun, right?
Yeah.
While the playfield is the center, it's fun to have great music like the music we have that Charlie Benante did for this, from Anthrax, that did for this thing, made it sound like the franchise and sound like the music from John Wick. We also also want to see Keanu, both in the artwork and on the screen. You want to see him taking out the enemies, and it helps with that immersion and the imagination that goes with being in this world under glass. And that's really how we think about it, is a world under glass that we brought to life. So if you look at this here, we have the Blood Oath marker. We actually got a copy of the prop from the film, scanned it, and did this 3D model in the game, and it opens and closes.
Oh.
And you get basically 2 outlane ball saves. So, you know, just like the Blood Oath marker, you can save yourself with this Blood Oath marker in the game. We have the red circle club and a ball lock back here that creates a multi-ball as he drops into the club like he does in the film.
Yeah.
We have John Wick's muscle car that comes out and participates in car chases and chases the ball.
Oh my God, you're gonna maybe have to show me those things.
Okay, we will.
Yeah.
And then we have the Continental. So we have the Continental, which obviously is a big thing in the films there. And John Wick's weapons crate, which opens up and he goes in to get his weapons to go on his missions throughout the game experience.
And even the buttons and their spring reaction to them, and the fact that I feel connected by being able to push these buttons. Oh, I guess the ball came out. Let's just give it
just got to give it a shot. Give it a go.
So I just came from playing Godzilla, which absolutely loved the grayscale color scene. And here we are with something so completely different, with all of these beautiful city-like neon lights and things going on here. Such a contrast. So how is this, like, concept to creation? Like, do you have different team members doing different things, or how does this get made?
Yeah, so it takes about 2 years from really the beginning idea to the end to make a pinball machine. The first number of months are securing partnership with, in this case, Lionsgate Films and the people who worked on the John Wick franchise. And then we have a team of designers and mechanical engineers and software engineers that'll work through the concept phase. And then they get joined by team members that work on all of these different attributes over time. And ultimately, it takes that team about, you know, a year and a half or so to bring this game to life and bring it to be what you see in front of you. So a lot of work goes into this. You know, similar work and a little different to what goes into a video game or any other creative endeavor. They really immerse themselves in the franchise and come up with ideas that are pure to the franchise. That's why it feels so different.
Yeah.
You know, John Wick, the franchise prides itself on being a neon noir franchise, and so you have this neon noir cityscape that's authentic to John Wick that wouldn't be authentic to another franchise.
Oh yeah, totally. I am blown away by coming from Godzilla and then coming here, and it definitely feels like a different game. Like it's visually different and it feels different. Obviously the objectives are different. There's other things that I'm concentrating on that I want to see happen. Is there anything that, I don't know your skill level, I obviously can't like get that open or that open. I know certain things need to happen. Is there anything you can show me?
I'm not bad, but I got a ringer that we can bring in. Kyle. Kyle, why don't you come on and be the ringer and show them everything that happens in here. Okay.
Yeah, we just, obviously my skills aren't all there, and we talked about some of the incredible things that this specific one has, like that opens. I believe I did a little good work there on the car, but is there anything that you can use your skills to show us that's unique here?
My skills are being hyped up. I'm gonna try to live up to these skills I'm being proposed to have, but I'd like to try and start a multi-ball. I really enjoy interacting with the car because it's. I like the way it kicks back, and I like the way that it changes the ball path, right? Where it could block that upper right shot, block your shot to the Continental. I like multi-balls. I like playing. I like when the game gets out of control.
Oh wow!
You know, so I'm gonna see if I can start a multi-ball of sorts. The car multi-ball is my favorite just because of the interaction with the actual toy. There's I think four different car multi-balls in this game. There's one from each of the car scenes in each film. I believe they go in order, so we're going to start with the helipad car chase if I can start this multi-ball.
And how would you get that going? I'm just curious, is it points? Is it hitting something?
It's bashing the car. So we're at the point now I have one more hit to make to the car before it will swing out, which then will allow me to hit the right orbit, left orbit rather. Sorry, one more bash. There it goes. And of course I drain right there. So we've got it set up though, so let's see what we can do.
Oh, that's incredible.
I think that's like things that are neat on this game, especially, are like the changing of ball travel, right? The car will move out to block that path. Changing of the when the weapons crate will open and close to be able to open and close this path here. I enjoy that about this game. And then with the enemies, I think Seth probably told you about the way that the the AI for the enemies works. And it gives you a different way to play each mode every time. Okay, now the left orbit is lit for me to not beef it. Let's see if we can ski pass over to the left orbit.
Oh.
We start the car multi-ball. So we've got the helipad showdown. This one's a fun standard multi-ball. It's just collect the jackpots. I like to play out of control. A lot of players will spend a lot of time like grabbing, trapping the ball, and like calling their shots.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
I think there's something about like a magic to flow in pinball where if you can kind of get the balls rolling and you find your shots. So each of those red shots is a jackpot for this multi-ball. So it's kind of a hit everything as fast as you can.
And you only have lower flippers on this, which is an interesting decision.
It's a neat game because it is a 2 flipper layout, right? Like it whoop. Yeah, this one's actually going good. Yeah, those skills, I do have them. But I love the way that this game flows, right? It's a tight shooter. The shots are tight. They're really gratifying to make. But when you're in a multi-ball, you get that thing flying. It's amazing how many combos you can actually end up scoring. But that's a multi-ball that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The other one I like is the Excommunicado multi-ball, which starts in the dance club. That one's unique because you'll trap the ball in the dance club when it calls for it, and you have 15 seconds to set your jackpot value. So hit as many of the lit shots as you can to raise the value of the jackpot, then the multi-ball starts. Whatever you've set yourself up for is what you get to collect during the multi-ball.
Okay, maybe a funny question, but you definitely have a foot more height than I do. Do you think that also helps with being able to see or judge or anything like that? Is it helpful in any way? Do I need to grow taller to be better at this,
No.
or just practice?
No, I think it's mostly practice. Actually, it can be detrimental because sometimes things will be like, you'll have things on top of like lanes in the game. It'll block inserts, and I have no idea they're there until I get down to this level. It's like, oh, there's an insert that's flashing right there, right? Maybe, I don't know.
Just, silly question, but just curious.
That's a good question. One of our designers at Stern is also like 6'8", the height I am. He is incredibly good at pinball. So maybe I'll have to ask Jack if height actually plays into inherent pinball skill. But
I will say I was talking to someone who said that someone was playing one of your pinball games for like 3 hours. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So last question, last thing. So 3 hours someone was playing and had to use the restroom, had someone hold the ball in there, had to go to the bathroom, and it came back.
Wild.
Do you think that there can be some kind of magnet one day put in if you do have to push pause, so you're like, no, you're in it. There is no pause.
That's a question for the engineers. I have seen that before though. Like there was a stream a couple years ago where they tried to do like a over 24-hour constant pinball playing. The dude was on stream for over 24 hours playing over and over and over and over again. So I don't know how you would make that go smoother.
But it's probably not something you want at a commercial location. You don't want somebody to pause.
Yeah,
and then walk away and hog a game.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well,
That is
guys,
funny though.
Thank you so much. This has been a great interview.
Thanks.
I love it, and I love how passionate everyone who works here is.